Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to edit the product photo we just took, the necklace specifically, and I'm going to show you how to edit that. In fact, hold on, I'll show you what the plan is. So we're going to end up with a photo, no, sorry, not like that, my bad. We're going to end up with a photo like this. Isn't that awesome? So or something similar to that actually, but without the pole in the way. That's the plan, okay, because I did a little bit of a test drive of some software for you guys. So, and I will explain more as we go along. But first up, I just want to show you the differences in these two photos that I am recording here. So we have the photo on the left and the photo on the right. Now, I don't know how well this came up on the video because I haven't edited it yet in post-production, but like when I was actually taking the video, it didn't look like there was a lot of difference. I don't know if you remember, but I was putting a piece of white cardboard down on the left-hand side. Like I had the window light coming in from the right, and then on the left-hand side, I'd put a piece of cardboard down. But I didn't remember to do that for the first couple of shots. And this is what we ended up with. It's kind of like, it's much darker, and it's starting off with something that dark, you're going to have a lot more problems in making it as bright as we want to get it in the end result. So then this photo on the right is a much better starting point that I want to start from. Now, I know that this bottom one is sort of turned a little bit too far away, so I know that this isn't quite perfect, and if it was my business, I would probably go and reshoot this again to see if I could get all three of them facing the camera and just play around with it more. Remember, I only had 10 minutes because the sun was setting and I only had a certain amount of light I didn't want that bright sunlight, and then the time between when the sun goes down until it really goes down and it gets too dark to shoot was only about 10 minutes because it's winter time. Summertime, I'll get a lot more. And if I had my desk or my table set up in front of a different window, I would have much more time. But getting my husband onto that plan is a bit of a problem because then the door would be in front of the glass sliding doors. We wouldn't be able to get out to the garden outside. You know, my husband is not quite willing to suffer from my art, but anyway, so I just want to show you that difference of why I was doing that in case it didn't come out that well in the video when I was recording. Sometimes that happens, the video compensates or you know, makes its own decisions while recording, but the camera still pick up sort of different settings and different images. Now, what I am going to do is we are going to edit in this awesome program. Now, not Photoshop, okay? Relax. What I'm going to use is a program called aviary.com. So just in your web browser, just type in aviary.com. Now, it is an Adobe product, so you know, and Adobe are the ones who do Photoshop and Lightroom and those kinds of things. But this is a free product and it has a lot of the power of those products without it being complicated. And I'm going to show you how awesome it is. And you can also get the app for your phone or for your tablet or something like that. But I'm showing you on a desktop because that's easier for me to screen record and get all the options, and that's just easier for me, to be honest. But if you are having any problems with the tablet or mobile version, definitely let me know and I can do some extra couple of videos or something like that. So what we can do is we can take a photo with our webcam here. We can take, you know, grab something from Creative Cloud, which is Adobe's storage. That only matters if you have an Adobe account. We're not going to worry about that. What we're going to do is we're going to either click here to upload from the computer or drag a photo there from the computer. So I have, here's my files, and what I need is to go into here. I'm going to start with this as a base, and I'll just left click and drag here, okay, so that you can see what's going on. This sort of, the background changes to let you know that you can do that, and then you can let go of the left mouse button, and then it just loads up for us, which is pretty awesome. Now, you'll notice that the bar in the side has been removed. And that is a choice that I've made. I'm not going to show you how to do that because it's really more of an advanced feature, although if you find that you need to know that, definitely let me know and I'll be more than happy to record a video on how I do it. But for me, because of my experience with Photoshop, it's a 2-minute job, very, very easy. I tried to find other programs to try and do that and show you and that kind of thing, and it just didn't work for me. All those other programs, they just had issues and that kind of thing. So I've just put that into the advanced thing. What you could do is, if you wanted to recreate something like this, you have a necklace, and what I could have done if I had them is used a pin or like a push pin or something and pushed that into the cardboard and then hung the necklace from that, and I could have even wrapped it round and then just cropped it out of the photo, and it would have been up against the cardboard. And in fact, that may have even been a better option because then this bottom one wouldn't have been at this weird angle. But these are the kinds of things you learn by doing, and obviously I don't have a product-based business, and it's been a while since I've done some product photography, and first time I've ever shot a necklace, to be honest. So yeah, that's the kinds of things that you learn by doing. Now we have our image here, and we have all of these awesome options at the top here, and then there's also the zoom button so that you can zoom in and out if you want to take a look at anything. Now, what I am going to show you is, I'm not going to show you all of these options, I'm just going to show you a few of the ones in order to get us to sort of our end result that we want. Now, I'll just toggle that off so that it doesn't move me. The other thing I want to say is leave your cropping until the very, very last moment. Like that's the very last thing that you do. And I also want to say that we can sort of save this. We have an undo button and a redo button up the top here, but once we go save and we decide to, like, by clicking save, then that will allow us to export it. Once we export with this program, then it kind of all disappears. So you don't sort of have something that you can come back into and then replay with. You know, you'll have your exported image, which then you can then re-import into here as well. The other thing that I do want to point out that I found out, but is that my photo was something like 4,000 odd pixels wide. Like, I set it on my camera, on my phone camera, to be as wide as possible and as big as possible, because it's easier to make stuff smaller, but you can't make images go from small to big, otherwise they just end up blurry and look horrible. But this sort of automatically resizes it down for us. Like, it's not here, but if we move this, you'll see that the very biggest is 1024. So it's it has a limitation in that way. And I will talk more about that when we get into the cropping and what sizes you'll need for Etsy, that sort of thing. So what we need to do, it's already 8 minutes. This is going to be a longer one, guys. Sorry. It's not going to be heaps long though. So what I want to do is I want to, is it this? Adjust? Oh yeah, the adjustments area. This is so much fun. So we have brightness here on the left, the little, like, looks like a sun, and then we have plus and a minus, and we can drag, left click and then drag, and you can see that it changes the brightness, or we go dark. We definitely want to go bright. And then there's also, if we just click on these, and then you have the name at the top, and if you don't move anything, then everything stays fine, and you can adjust the contrast if you want to. Maybe I will just a little bit. So, and then adjusting the shadows. So if your shadows are too dark, you can lift those up a little bit. Just see. I might just leave that where that was actually. Adjusting the highlights. So if you have anything that's too bright, you can sort of turn that down if you want, but I'm quite happy. I want a sort of bright image. Product images tend to be like sort of over bright. You adjust the saturation. This is definitely a must. You know, don't go overboard, don't go crazy like that, okay? But definitely sort of just up it so that it sort of looks a bit, gives it a bit more oomph with the colors and how saturated they are. Then you have the warmth. So images have a natural kind of like warmness or coolness to them. So you can see how the background goes more blue for cool, and then warm goes more yellow, okay? Use that as you want. From what I have seen, the more popular product images and the ones that even I tend to buy from more, you know, generally sort of quite well balanced and maybe a bit more on the blue side than on the warm side. Unless you're selling a holiday somewhere or something like that, then you want some warmth in it. But I think I might even put it a little bit more on the blue side. I think that's what I did last time, just to be more, make it look more professional. And then there's this tint option which you can use, and if you ever want to know what these things do, just left click and drag on either side to see. It like adds more purple and then adds more green. And if you don't want it to do anything, just leave it back in the middle there, so it doesn't add anything. And then this was my favorite. I didn't know what this meant, adjust fade, but it was awesome. It is going to change the background so that it becomes super white, which is what we want in a product image. And it doesn't even really seem to be doing anything else. Like, it just automatically does the background, probably because I only have like one item in it. And that is awesome. That is so much what you need. I might even leave it like that. When you're done and you're happy, you click apply. If you make a mistake, you can always like re-upload your original image. It's not saving over your image in your hard drive or anything like that. That image stays there. There's all these other things that you can play with. If you need to change the orientation of the image, you can do that there. Something else I want to bring to your attention is sharpness. Is usually something that you'll want, and I'll just increase the sharpness so that these look even sharper. Not too much. I don't know if that's gone too far, but it's totally up to you. I guess we'll see. And you can add in text if you want, although I don't think that's really a thing if you're adding in stuff to Etsy or anything. You can turn this into a meme, but if you're doing some of your social media stuff, this is also really quite easy. And at that point, the only other thing I would do would be to crop. So, and then what I would do is, because I showed you before, it sort of automatically resizes this to be 1000 pixels wide. And this is my width and this is my height here, 768. I looked up Etsy before on this, here we go, listing photo dimensions site. Like, I just did a search in Google and found this, and it says that you should have your images at 1000 pixels wide. You want to be like horizontally, like landscape or square images. So because I want to keep it 1000 pixels wide, I don't know, I could try the square, but I don't know if that will keep it at the 1024. Sorry. Yeah, no, I think that goes too small. So keep it at the original, and I just want to move this down. I'm just going to left click and then just, no, I don't want the original. I'll just go custom, sorry. And then I'll just left click and drag. I know, but we still have more width than we have height, so that's pretty good. I just want to keep it at least 1000 pixels wide, so that's kind of why I'm doing it this way. I know it's not perfect, and if you tried to do something similar and uploaded to Etsy, because this isn't in the center, we might have a bit of a problem because it automatically takes sort of what's in the center, but it might actually adjust to being, you know, to choosing this to be in your thumbnail. And that just might take a little bit of playing around, and that might be the downside to using this software, because obviously in Photoshop you can keep it at your 4000 pixels and then you can create a square out of it and still keep it easily 2500 pixels by 2500 pixels, and it's big enough for Etsy and all that. The reason Etsy has their dimensions is because they have this like thing where the people who are shopping can click to zoom, and that helps them with that, so that's why. So there is also, they suggest Photoshop Express Online as well, which you can play around with, but this one was easier to get into. The other one wanted me to sort of sign up or something, so that's why I will leave the cropping here like this, because I want to keep that 1000 pixels wide. PX is pixels if you need it. This is in pixels, and then click apply. Then when you're done, you just click save at the right here. And then you can click to get the app, and maybe on the app you get to keep copies of your images, but otherwise I just click download and then I get to save it. And then as necklace 2 with Avery. You're of course welcome to use whichever, and it only gives me as a PNG, not as a, only gives me as a PNG and not as a JPEG or any other options, but I mean that's what you get with something for free that has kind of the power of Photoshop behind it. It's really not too bad. So now, last time I clicked done and I lost everything. Oh, I can't click over here, and I guess I could click get the app, which tells me to go to the App Store, etc. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's free on your phone, but at least this part here was free on my desktop. The only other thing that I forgot to take a photo of, which would have been useful, is actually putting the necklace on my neck and taking like a photo of myself with, like, you know, from the chin down, so people could actually see what it would look like and how long it hangs. That's a really big part of Etsy, and when I or any kind of, like, if you're selling a product, having multiple photos of the product and then showing people how it could be used to give them an idea so they can see it inside their house. Like for my images in my Etsy store, I actually had pictures of my images like on a lounge room wall so that people could see how they're used and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the only thing that's sort of missing. All right. Sorry this has been a bit of a long one, guys, but yeah, hopefully that helps you out and gives you an idea about what you should be doing and how to get your photos looking to be a better quality. If you have any questions at all, by all means, definitely contact me. Photography is my side gig and I love it, and yeah, I'd definitely be happy to help anybody out to improve it for their business, etc. All right. If you want to contact me, just go to the website at gdni.com.au and click on contact, and click over here on contact and fill out the form and submit it, the form. Okay, oh, wish that thing would stop not going wrong. Anyway, all right, thanks very much, guys, and I will see you in the next video. All right, thanks, bye.